Well, hello there, my fellow travelers. Welcome to this special episode here on Strictly Flying. I hope you're all doing fantastic. Today we're going to be talking about the Flying Blue program. And I already made a video about the Flying Blue program in 2020, and that turned out to be extremely popular with all of you guys. So I figured, this topic, it deserves another video, and we're gonna have a look at what has actually changed since 2020, what has remained the same, and of course, for those of you who are just totally new to the Flying Blue program, I'm gonna go through everything step by step and cover everything that you need to know.
So, the Flying Blue program is the official loyalty program of KLM and Air France. However, anybody who flies on any airline that is a member or a partner of the SkyTeam Alliance will benefit from the Flying Blue program as to earning miles and additional status. Now, I think the fundamentals of any loyalty program is, of course, to reward you with miles or points as to how much you actually fly. And of course, these miles or points, they may be used to purchase any flights, rental cars, hotels, etc., etc. And nowadays, most loyalty programs, in addition to earning miles, they will also reward you with additional perks depending on how much you fly. And the Flying Blue program, they have invented the XP or experience points system. And the more experience points that you earn, the more benefits you will gain. They basically have a tier system. So you will start at the lowest tier, which is Explorer. And as you fly, you will gain experience points, and after a certain threshold you will advance to the next tier, which is silver, and that will give you some additional benefits. And as you keep on flying, again you will reach the next threshold of gold tier, which will give you even further benefits. And that is basically how you earn XPs and advance through the different tiers until you reach the top tier, which is platinum, and it gives you a bunch of benefits and perks. So let's go ahead and I'll explain a little bit about how everything works.
I am actually kind of an idiot, because when I received this here in the mail, I immediately opened it because I knew what it was. But then I figured afterwards, I'm gonna make a new, video on this topic here. So, it would be nice to show you guys exactly, how everything is presented. But unfortunately, I already opened this one and it's been in my bag. It's been traveling quite a bit, just waiting for the day that I was gonna make this video. So, but anyways, I opened the envelope and I can just show you exactly what's inside. Just so you guys know, I've been a platinum member now for 2 years. So this is my 3rd year consecutive. This is basically how, every single year as I qualify again, they will send me this envelope right here. And it's the same thing if you qualify for silver, gold, or platinum. They present you with an envelope just like this. So basically what's inside is obviously your card, which looks like this. Written on it is just, "Dear Mr. Thank you for being a valued Flying Blue member. Your platinum status has been renewed. Keep enjoying your benefits. We are delighted to enclose your new card and invite you to visit flyingblue.com to make the most out of your loyalty program. Yours sincerely, your Flying Blue team." That's basically it. That is my card. I am platinum officially for another year. Apart from your card, you do get your tags, your luggage tags, Of course, I already have my old tags, but I guess after a while you can put them on some other bags. You actually you get 2 of them you can put on your bag. And that's basically it, and that's what you receive every single year when you qualify to any Flying Blue elite status. You know, elite is, I guess, everything above silver status. So let's just talk a little bit about the difference between, you know, earning actual miles and what they call experience points, because it's really important to differentiate between, you know, the two. So basically, miles are, as you would expect, you know, with any other loyalty program, is, you know, the more you fly, the more you spend, the more miles you're going to earn. You can exchange these miles for upgrades, for, you know, free flights, better seats, for extra service on board. You know, they have some KLM flights that you can order, you know, special meals. And they even have their own, you know, Flying Blue shop where you can buy just a bunch of stuff, you know, for anything from electronics, suitcases, travel accessories, and anything. And it's just a really poor deal, and I explain that a little bit later. But basically, your miles, you got a lot of options as how you really can spend your miles, okay? Now, experience points. This goes solely towards your qualification levels, okay? So as you progress up, you know, every single flight you take, depending on the length, you will earn more experience points. And these experience points, as you earn these experience points, as soon as you reach a certain level, a threshold, then you will automatically be upgraded to the next level. Okay, and this happens automatically.
So let me just give you an example here on how you would be earning experience points. Now, let's say you are starting off in Amsterdam. And we're going to be flying to Atlanta in the US, but we are going to be making several stopovers underways. So our first leg of the journey is going to be to Paris, France. And as you can see on this intra-Europe flight, we will be earning 5 XPs. Now, this is just an example from Amsterdam to Paris. If you were to fly from Amsterdam to Lisbon, which is roughly 3 times longer, then you would still be earning 5 XPs. And this is just how the Flying Blue program is set up. And I guess it's just set up this way just to simplify things just a little bit. But anyways, let's move on to our next leg of the journey, which is gonna be from Paris to Chicago. And as you can see on this flight, we will be earning an additional 10 XPs. Now, again, as for the same example as from Amsterdam to Paris, as for Paris to Chicago, if you were to fly to any other destination such as Paris to Los Angeles or Paris to Dubai, for example, you would still be earning 10 XPs. Again, that is just how the Flying Blue program is set up. So as for how many XPs you will actually earn on your flight, it's not proportional to the actual distance. It's just basically calculated as of where you are flying within the different regions set up by the Flying Blue program. So as we have arrived in Chicago, we are now going to take our very last flight. This is going to be the last leg of our journey to Atlanta. And as you can see, this will give us an additional 2 XPs. Now again, you can see that the distance doesn't really affect of how many XPs you actually earn, as the leg from Chicago to Atlanta is longer than the leg from Amsterdam to Paris. The reason why you earn so much less XPs from the leg from Chicago to Atlanta is solely because it's a domestic flight. And again, this is just how the system is set up by the Flying Blue program. So after a flight, we can sum up all of our XPs earned, and we have a total of 17 XPs. Now, if you do have a return flight, as you return to Amsterdam, you will be earning a total of 34 XPs, and that is basically how everything works in a nutshell. Now remember, this example here is given as you fly in economy class. And if you fly in business class, obviously you will be earning a lot more.
The advantage of this is, of course, that, it doesn't matter how much or how little you pay, because obviously you will make exactly the same amount. Like if you take a KLM flight, for example, from Amsterdam to Paris, just under an hour, for that you're gonna make 5 experience points in economy class, okay? And if you take another flight from Amsterdam to Lisbon, for example, that is, I guess, 2.5 hours long. In economy class, you're gonna make 5 experience points, okay? You're probably gonna pay more for that flight. So you're gonna make more miles probably with that ticket from Amsterdam to Lisbon than to Paris. However, your experience points is going to be exactly the same, your earnings, okay? Now for business class, it is usually calculated 3 times what you make in economy. So for a flight from Amsterdam to Paris, for example, as you would earn 5 XPs in economy class, you would earn 15 XPs in business class, for example. Of course, it pays off, you move up the levels a lot faster, flying business class than you do in economy class. Now, here's what I think is the disadvantage, especially if you are brand new to the program and, you are just starting to, earn your first XPs and miles, then it's not as simple as, just flying a lot the first year and then you're gonna move it up all the tires. Basically, I need to explain this, how it actually works for you to understand, okay? Just to start off, the first tier that you're gonna reach from Explorer is gonna be silver, okay? And to reach silver, you're gonna need 100 XPs. Now, the next tier from silver is gonna be gold, okay? So to reach gold, you're gonna need 180 XPs, okay? So it's 100 XPs to reach silver, 180 XPs to reach gold, and ultimately platinum status, which is the highest tier. You're gonna need 300 XPs, and this has, it needs to be done within one qualifying year of 365 days, okay? Now, why is it so difficult for a beginner to move up the ranks quickly? Now, the reason for this is as soon as you start earning your XPs and as soon as you reach that threshold of 100 XPs, these are immediately deducted from your account and you will be a silver member. To keep your silver status, you need to start earning all the way from zero again, all the way from the beginning, because your account is basically now 0 XPs, okay? So you need to start earning again. To maintain your status, your silver status, you're gonna need to earn again an additional 100 XPs, okay? That's just to keep your status. And to ultimately reach gold, you're gonna need to reach 180 XPs. So let's say that you're a beginner and you want to get gold status as fast as possible. Now, 100 XPs to reach gold, sure. But remember, as soon as you reach silver status, these are going to be deducted from your account and you'll start from zero again. So it's basically going to be 100 XPs to reach silver and then another 100 XPs just to reach gold. So do you understand what I'm saying? So it's basically gonna be 200 XPs just to reach gold status. Now imagine platinum, okay? So 280 and then it's gonna be zeroed again and then an additional 300, 3, 4, 5, 580 XPs. Now, just before you start to panic and say, well, that's insane, just remember, it wasn't always like this, Earlier, you could, rise up the levels pretty quickly, But the reason they do this is just to keep people, just to keep them in the program, to keep them chasing after that status. The advantage of this system here is that as soon as you reach a tier, it is very easy for you to maintain that tier, to stay in that tier. Okay, let's just go back to our scenario where you just signed up for the Flying Blue program for the very first time. You are at 0 XP, 0 miles, and your qualifying year has just started. You start flying, you start earning your miles, your XPs, and as soon as you reach 100 XPs, now let's just give an example. Let's say you reach 100 XPs within 9 months of your qualifying year, okay? Now, these 100 XPs, they are automatically deducted from your account and you will receive your silver Flying Blue card, okay? And you are now officially a Flying Blue Silver member. Now you got 3 months left of your qualifying year. Of course, you know that your XPs has been zeroed out, so you need to make an additional 180 XPs to reach the next tier, which is gold. Now let's see you just make 80 XPs these next 3 months, okay? You make an additional 80 XPs and that is the end of your qualifying period. Now, at the end of your qualifying period, you are silver tier. You got 80 XPs in your account. This is where it gets interesting because these 80 XPs that you already earned after obtaining silver tier, they don't get deducted, they don't get zeroed out. These 80 XPs are yours to keep for the following qualification period, okay? So, your qualification period, it will start again and you already have 80 XPs in your account. Now, this is why I'm saying it is very easy to maintain your tier level, okay? It is very hard for a beginner to move up the tiers very quickly from an explorer, for example, to gold. That is really tough. However, as soon as you obtain any certain amount of status, then it is very easy for you to keep that tier, to remain in that tier. Remember, we are now in our second qualification year and you are a silver status member with 80 XPs in your account already from day one of your second qualification year, okay? Let's say within the first month you make 2 round trips from Amsterdam to Paris in economy class. That will give you 20 extra experience points, XPs. Now you have automatically re-qualified for silver status, okay? Because you're already silver. However, as you are already silver, you are automatically re-qualified since you reached that 100 XPs. Because you had 80 XPs in the beginning, you earned an additional 20 XPs in the first month of your qualifying year. So now you're at 100. However, these 100 XPs, they will stay in your account. Why? Because you already silver status, okay? You already obtained your silver tier. So they're not gonna deduct any XPs from you. Those are yours to keep. So you keep on earning until you reach the next tier, okay? You keep on earning half a year, 6 months, something like that. You earn an additional 80 XPs. Now you get this one in your mail. Now you are a Flying Blue Gold member. So in 2 years, you manage to obtain gold, okay? As soon as you move up to another level, another tier, of course, these 100 XPs, they will get deducted from your account. So I hope all of this makes sense, how it is fairly easy to maintain your tier. However, it is quite hard to move up fast, okay?
Now we are still in our second qualifying year, and at the end of the year you make an additional 100 XPs. And since you already leveled up this year and you were deducted 180 XPs, Then at the end of your year, your 100 experience points are your surplus XPs, and these are yours to keep for the following third qualifying year. So this means you start your third qualifying year as gold and with 100 XPs in your account. So let's say you start flying again, and at the end of your third qualifying year you make an additional 180 XPs, a total of 200 XPs. Now the threshold for reaching platinum status is 300 XPs, and in this scenario you are 20 experience points short of reaching platinum. Therefore, at the end of your third qualifying year, in this case, you will be deducted 180 XPs, which is the qualifying XPs for gold status. So the bad news here is obviously that you didn't reach platinum status. However, the good news is that you are still gold for another year. Even that you have an additional 100 experience points in your account when you enter your fourth qualifying year. So I hope all of this makes sense, but I also want to show you a scenario of what actually happens if you don't earn enough experience points to maintain your tier level. So let's just say that in your fourth qualifying year you only earn another 20 XPs. So at the end of your fourth qualifying year you are only left with 120 experience points. And we all know by now that the threshold for gold is 180 experience points. And this means that you will be downgraded to silver status. But also you do need to pay for the 100 XPs, which is the threshold for silver. So you are ultimately left with 20 XPs in your account.
But the good thing about this, this system here is, of course, when there are discounts, promotions, whatever, then it doesn't really matter how much you actually spend, but it's actually how long, your flight is, if you're doing it either domestically or intra-Europe or international, intercontinental, there are all fixed points that you will make regardless of how much you pay, The only difference, of course, is the class of travel, either if you're traveling economy or you're traveling business, you're going to earn 3 times the amount of XPs as you would in economy class. So basically, that is the advantage, that it's quite simple, to calculate how much you're going to make, in whatever trip that you're going to take. So that is basically the tier system in the Flying Blue program, basically in a nutshell how it works. And I hope all of this made some sort of sense. So just for you guys who are just, if you're not already a member of the Flying Blue program and you're thinking about signing up, just keep this in mind, that it's, you're not gonna probably be making gold or platinum status, within the first couple of years. It's gonna be a gradual, climb to the top. But as soon as you get that tier status at the top, it's fairly easy to maintain that tier status, okay? So I hope that made some sort of sense. So let's talk a little bit about miles. This is a bit tricky again, because the miles that you earn now, the way these differentiate between XPs or experience points is miles are yours to keep and they accumulate. There's no requalification period. There's no, they don't expire. As long as you keep on flying and you are somewhat active, then they don't expire. That is, of course, a good thing. The bad thing is that, these are directly proportional as to how much you actually spend on your tickets, okay? So if there is a discount and like a promo fare or something like that, you're not going to be earning a lot of miles. The amount of miles that you're going to be earning is minuscule. The good thing is that depending on your tier, the same as if you're just starting out, you're going to be making very little miles. And I believe it's you earn 4 miles for every euro that you spend, whatever you spend within KLM or Air France or any of the partners of the Flying Blue program. Okay. Then as an explorer, your entry level tier, you're going to be making 4 miles for every euro that you spend. Now, moving up the tiers up to, for example, platinum, I'm making the double amount of that. Okay, so it's basically 8 miles per euro spent. So in that sense, I accumulate, the double amount of miles that I would had I been just an explorer tier. So that is, I guess, an advantage, that you make a lot more miles as you progress the tiers. You go up to silver, you're already making 6 miles per euro spent. Gold, you're going to be making 7. And as I mentioned, with platinum, the highest, I'm making double, 8 miles per euro spent, in comparison to the entry level explorer, where you only make 4 miles. So even, just jumping from explorer to the next tier, which is silver, which is fairly easy, you're making you're making 2 more miles per euro spent. So it's the benefits already start to show their face as soon as you move up to the very first tier. Now, apart from earning more miles, you also get a lot of discounts. For example, as an explorer, you basically don't have any perks at all except for earning miles. That is basically the only perk that you have. As soon as you get into silver, you get discounts on better seat selections. You get discounts on basically any sort of service that KLM Air France will provide. Better seating options, and maybe extra baggage as well. They would give you discounts on that as well. Then again, that is basically silver for you. And I believe you can also choose like a basics, the standard seat, basically for free as well. As an explorer, you still need to purchase, you need to still pay for just choosing whatever seat that you want. So basically silver, it gives you a little bit of benefits. Moving on to gold, that's where it really gets interesting, because then you get the lounge access, you get priority boarding, you get an extra piece of luggage for free. But what really surprised me and kind of disappointed me as well is just between gold and platinum, you need 180 XPs to become a gold member. And for platinum is actually 300. It's almost the double of the XPs that you need to obtain gold. And the difference between gold status and platinum status is not really that great, So you might think, is it really worth it, But of course, for me, it was never a question of worth it, because I travel out of necessity. If you're, just a casual traveler, or if you struggle to become gold within a qualifying year, and you look at, is it really worth it to chase that platinum, and you're just gonna, maybe you're gonna take a couple of flights that you don't really have to take just to become platinum, I would really think twice about that, because the difference between gold and platinum, the more perks you get, it's not really that great. The only huge benefit that I see as, becoming a platinum member is the fact that I get to choose the economy comfort only on KLM. As a platinum, you get to choose those seats for free as well. What really surprised me and disappointed me is that with gold status, you already get one free piece of luggage, and that's great, But as a platinum, I don't get an additional piece, I don't get 2 pieces of luggage. The same amount that I get, as gold is the same for platinum. So I only get 1 piece of checked-in luggage for free. I think if you fly that much and you are such a, loyal member as obtaining platinum, I think they should give you at least a second piece of luggage. Now, luckily for me, 1 piece of checked-in luggage, that is usually all I need, and I rarely, I'm able to fill up one luggage. But it has happened, you know. I've been on a shopping spree or whatever. I need to bring some stuff. And, you know, sometimes I need to bring two pieces of luggage, you know. And it kind of irritates me that I need to pay, you know, for that second piece of luggage as a platinum member. But, you know, maybe I'm just being spoiled. And another thing that I found extremely useful, and especially in these times, these last couple of years, you know, with the coronavirus and the pandemic and the closures and just the hassle of flying, with a lot of cancellation of flights and a lot of restructuring, is as a platinum member, you do get the platinum hotline. It's like one special number that is only available for you as a platinum member. It's 24 hours open, and usually when you call them, rarely have I been, you know, on hold for more than 10 minutes max. You know, usually they answer, you know, just within a couple of minutes. That has been extremely helpful, especially during the pandemic where there has been cancellations, you know, changes of flight times and stuff like that, that I really need to get a hold of them. Or there's been, you know, some change in my plans and I need to rebook my flight. That is an extremely useful perk, especially in these times during the pandemic. So that is good, I guess. But apart from that, you know, the difference between gold and platinum, you know, you really need to look at it as, you know, is this something that you really need? You know, they won't roll out the red carpet for you, even if you're a platinum member, you know. The only thing that I've seen, you know, is actually a couple of times. Usually, the purser will come, present herself, present you with your name, and ask how are you doing? Is there anything they can do for you, and stuff like that, you know. I kind of don't like that attention, you know, especially if it's a full flight. I got this guy sitting beside me and is just wondering, why are you famous or something like that? And it's just something they do just to recognize you as a platinum member, you know. I've even had the captain himself come, you know, back to the economy class and just, you know, welcoming me on board the flight and ask if there's anything he could do. I jokingly once asked him, yeah, if you have a place in business class, you know, you could put me up there, that would be great. But unfortunately, he could not do that for me. But anyways, so there is that as well. And that is, of course, just to make you feel a little bit more special, I guess. And I've actually, even in economy class, one time I actually was served a business class meal. And that was extremely embarrassing because I had, you know, all of these economy class, they were eating, you know, just dried out pasta. And I got, you know, I got a beef steak, you know, served to me and champagne and, you know, crystal glass. And it's like, I felt so out of place and so stupid because, of course, I was sitting in economy class, and I guess I don't know what people were thinking. But anyways, well, what can you do, you know? I just smiled and said, thank you very much. But anyways, those are the things you can expect as a platinum member. But when it all comes to, you know, when it comes to the bottom of it, you know, is it really worth it chasing it if you're already gold? I don't know. That's up to you, I guess. So I guess now you know a lot about how the XPs work and how you can obtain miles. And let's just talk very shortly about how you can spend miles. Now, this is, again, a part that you really need to pay attention because it's really easy to spend your miles on rubbish, you know, on stuff that it's not really worth it. Because remember, if you're obtaining miles, you know, you want to accumulate as many miles as possible. Flights or whatever that you buy with miles is going to be fairly expensive, and you need to accumulate quite a lot of miles, especially for intercontinental flights. Just flying on economy, you know, it's a couple of 100,000 miles, and flying on business, you know, you're going to spend a fortune. And what I find also is just upgrading to another class is, for example, you know, for me, economy, I get asked all the time because obviously the crew, they have, you know, they have their tablets, they have these iPads. You'll see them walking around with these iPads, and they have your information, especially if you're part of the Flying Blue program. They will have all of your information, your history, how many miles you got, how many experience points you got, you know. They know everything about you, okay? And that is also the reason as a platinum, you know, they will come up and greet me. So they will have this information, and if there is, for example, let's say there are some available seats in business class, then as soon as they see that you have enough sufficient miles to upgrade to that class, they will come back, and they always ask me, because I haven't touched my miles, I believe I'm at 280,000 miles now. They will come up, they will ask me, would I like to upgrade to business class? And they have like a promotional deal, or, it's only, but it's ridiculous the amount, because every single time they've offered me an upgrade, they will, offer me an upgrade to business class for something like 80,000 miles or something like that. And that is basically a year's earnings of miles for me, and I just think it's ridiculous, the amount of miles that you actually have to, put on the table just to be able to fly business. Because a lot of times when you do actually check in, always have a look at your, log into your Flying Blue account the day before your flight is, and when you go and check in, go to your seat selection. They will always have, almost every single time, they will have like promotional discounts for you to upgrade to business with cash. And this will be a lot more affordable. Usually you can get really great deals of just, sometimes I've seen deals, flying to Brazil from Amsterdam, that I can upgrade, for maybe only 400 euros, where a normal ticket will be like 1,800 euros. So just upgrading will sometimes be a lot more affordable with cash. But with miles, they really want to take your miles. They really want you to spend those fast. What I personally find is the most affordable is, purchasing like intra-Europe tickets, especially if you purchase them well in advance, you can get really good deals, you can fly maybe from Amsterdam down to Lisbon in Portugal, or to Barcelona, a round trip to Rome for, maybe 10,000 miles. And that is, in my opinion, a great deal, It's because remember, if you want to upgrade, to business class and you're going to pay out 80,000 miles, you just keep in mind that if you do this smartly, you can have like, you can fly around Europe for the same amount of miles, you can really do some exploring around Europe for the same amount of miles. So just keep that in mind. And lastly, like I mentioned early in the video, they also have like a Flying Blue shop, where they can sell, travel accessories, electronics, whatever. Don't fall for this trap, because the amount of miles that you need to it's just ridiculous. It's just insane. Of course, if you already earned like 200,000, miles in your account, and you go into this shop and you say, oh, I can buy like brand new Bose headsets, for 150,000 miles. Why would you want to spend that, Like you probably spend like 4 or 5 years trying to earn that amount of miles, and you're just gonna blow them off on a piece of Bose Air headsets. Just go to the duty-free shop and pay that in cash, and take your 100, 200,000 miles and travel, go around, find some good deals or something like that instead. So that is just my tip, don't spend them on in the shop, because it's really not really good value. Okay, so basically that is just my own opinion and my ultimate tip for you guys. Okay, I hope this was somewhat informative, and I hope I didn't leave you all that confused. But anyways, it's fairly simple. The program is, in my opinion, is pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's a lot of these programs, they change, they evolve over the years. Every program is different, and I wouldn't really look in so much to the program which is better and which airlines you're gonna fly with. You should actually choose an airline that you think is the most, the easiest for you, the most convenient for you to travel, and just, become a member in their loyalty program, because most of the program, they're very similar. In the end, I think that you should stay loyal to an airline, especially if you travel a lot, because you know, travel is essentially, I think for most people, is a hassle. And of course, if you stay loyal to one airline, then of course you get all these benefits as lounge access and priority boarding. It makes life a lot easier, and just traveling a lot less of a hassle. That is quite obvious, I guess. So anyways, guys, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and as always, consider subscribing to my channel. I do make a lot of trip reports, and if you are an avid geek like me and you love to travel, then consider subscribing to my channel. Okay, guys, with that said, I hope you are satisfied with the information that I provided today, and until then, guys, take care. Bye bye.